Look at that. It's so fancy. Alright, I better not mess up this time. I swear. Apparently, everything I do technically breaks the rules. So, I'm working on it. Alright, so I have a whole entire... Okay, there's a lot, but I have a lot of... Change the thumbnail. I don't even know how to do that. Oh gosh. Alright, so this is all the users. How do I look at myself? Where does this go? Oh man, I don't even know how this works. Okay, clearly that was the wrong button. So what is this? Okay, so if you go to the description, I have listed every single YouTuber. Oh, it cut me off. Alright, so apparently I have too much, and it cut me off at apartment therapy. Show less, learn more. Oh, uh-oh. I don't know how to turn it back on. Uh-oh. So, okay, so there's these. After apartment therapy, there are these YouTubers. Alright, let's go to Firefox. Okay. So there's this guy that I was talking about before that isn't on the description here. There is Architect Digest. No! Alright. And then there's Eric, whatever his name is. Ooh, marshmallows. Thank you. And then there's Never Too Small, which is, I'm not sure. Yay, thank you. Alright. So, if you guys want to see big homes. Oops. Is all I highlighted? Let's see this. Alright, so if you want to see big homes and rich people, or like aesthetically pleasing stuff, I have listed as many YouTubers as I possibly could. I tried to organize them. I don't really follow people based on their what is it called? Following. Thank you. So I have no idea what their following is. These three are definitely these four actually. So okay, I messed that up. She is definitely more of an Instagrammer, but she does post videos on here too. Not very often, but if you follow her on Instagram, she posts way more. There's also this. She's not in America, but That doesn't mean her content isn't good. There's also this. And then there's also that. Uh-oh, Walmart's open. I gotta go. This took way longer than necessary. I love her family. Like, her family is like the dream family, but at the same time, she's always so happy. I personally cannot stand all her positive energy. Just like how I can't watch Adeline for too long because she's way too nice of a person that, like, I'm just like, wow, I feel like exhausted. It's not a bad thing. I'm just I need to be depressed at times, you know, like. And then ElleOfTheMills, I just love the way she does things. I mean, sometimes she goes on hiatus because she can't handle it. So, it's respectable, understandable, whatever. And then I like her because she's very real. It's kind of like her living her life through, like, you know. And then I like her because I actually don't remember. She does really good makeup. And it's not like super Korean. So I really like that. Sorry, I don't really know these people's names. I don't know why I followed her. I don't know. Okaysage is okay. Lauren Curtis is another one. I like to follow a lot of YouTubers that have successful relationships, or like they're hot and their boyfriends are hot. Like Lauren Curtis is one of those where she's super pretty and her boyfriend is super hot. So I love to follow her. Well, you are who you surround yourself with, right? So if everybody you follow is like successful, rich, smart, individualistic, you know, like, then that's what you're gonna aim for. But if you're gonna be surrounding yourself with, you know, questionable individuals, like, you're eventually going to be just like them, you know, because that's what you surrounded yourself with. But she's super rich or something. She has a super nice house, and I don't know, I just like her house. I genuinely follow this woman not even because of her content, but because her house is so nice. Like, no offense, but the only reason I follow her is to look at her house. So kimdao has, I don't really follow her main channel. I usually just follow her vlog channel because I like her vlogging style and I like the vlogging places she goes to. And I really like Chonnyday because they have so much food, and all the food they have is so delicious that, like, literally I want to go to every single place they ever go to because it looks so delicious every single time. Alright, anyways, this is why I can't watch them for too long because I get super hungry and then super homesick. So I try not to watch too much. Francis, Lola, and where is her name? Francis, Lola, Sophia? Where did she go? Sophia Chang have, I like the way they do their videos. It's not aesthetic, it's like also the content they make. I really like her content, and I really like her content. Technically my favorite is her, but she stopped making content. She has a vlog that I really enjoyed watching, the Japan vlog and stuff, and I really liked watching it, but that was like 4 years ago. So, you know, I feel like some really good content creators, they'll create content for a little bit and then they'll disappear forever, but that doesn't mean I'll stop following you. And then she's really funny, especially when it comes to like zodiac stuff. She does a lot of like really funny videos. When it comes to like zodiac signs and what they do and stuff, it's really funny. I don't really. After a while, everybody looks the same. So like, you gotta pardon me while I figure out who is who. I don't know why I followed her. But if you are into Chinese speaking vlogs, I highly recommend Evelyn. and Kelly Yang. These two are my favorite Chinese speaking vloggers. These are the apartment stuff. Okay, I love Cluam Sutherland. Cluam? I don't know. I think this guy's more entertaining than Gigi Gorgeous, but that's a personal opinion. Dani Austin is also another person that I really like to follow just because her boyfriend is super hot. But she's also like such a relatable person that I'm like, okay, I can see why they're in love with each other. And then like most of the stuff on her Instagram is just so hilarious, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, this is too much again. I can't handle this. But I am Carino. She's such a nice person. And there's another one. Hold on. Oh man, I closed it. So there is I am Carino. What is this? I don't know what that is. But I like to only follow people who have boyfriends. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of the people that I follow have either relationships that I would want for myself, or they have really hot boyfriends, so I follow them because I'm like, maybe if I follow them, I'll get a hot boyfriend too. So that's my strategy of who to follow. I like her vlogging style, or her energy, or whatever you want to call it, her vibe, whatever you want to call it. Hope Scope is just, you know, she's just like the super rich girl who like has all the leggings she wants, and like her husband just like buys her whatever she wants and doesn't ever really question her at all. She just like buys all the stuff she wants. So I really like her as well, and my camera's not on, but whatever. Where else? Where is May? Okay, so I like May a lot. There was a moment where she was either hanging out with the wrong people, or like she's just having a midlife crisis, I guess. And I like the direction she went to, because I feel like when she got out of that, she started dating her boyfriend now. And I don't know if you guys know this or have followed her for a really long time, but if you go back to when she dyed her hair, no, I don't think it was this one. I think it was an even older one. Yeah, I think it was older than this one because it was before she got that. I think she, okay, so there's this LA studio where she gets her hair bleached, right? Yeah, I think it was like this, right? And then she was going kind of through like this crisis or whatever, and then like she slowly started getting better and then more normal again, and then slowly I think she started dating her boyfriend somewhere like within the last year or whatever, or something like that. And then I think when she did her boyfriend reveal, she didn't really reveal him right away. She actually, like, you know what I mean? I think she still waited a little bit before she started actually talking about her boyfriend. And it's a lot like, if you don't follow Evelina, then, you know, I usually like her vlogs. Well, I kind of like both. Alright, anyways. So, pretty much, if you don't know, Evelina actually waited a really long time. Like, I think it was like a year or two or something before she actually officially announced her dating her boyfriend, or even considered fully on dating her boyfriend. I think if you followed her vlogs and everything, you would know she didn't really actually say yes right away or want to be in a relationship right away. She actually took a really long time and thought about it before, you know. And another woman that I really like when it comes to relationship is Katrine. So she and her boyfriend are really funny, because sometimes she'll be like, you know, I can't really stand my boyfriend sometimes. Like, I need my alone time and he needs his alone time. And then, but we're still dating. We just can't really always be with each other like that. And it's really funny because it's like, it's just so honest and it's so relatable that a lot of people are always trying to force their relationship to be like forever. And it's like, sometimes, you know, you just kind of need space. And like, this is kind of the group of women. Oh yeah, I don't really follow any men, do I? I only follow the Fung Bros because, like, as an Asian person, you always want to kind of encourage your male you know? And I just feel like Asian guys just don't really get enough, like, credit, I guess, for, like, the hard work they put in, and sometimes they're kind of shunned or mocked for, you know, and I don't know, I really like Bart and Geo and the Fung Bros because it's kind of like a really good representation of what male Asians should technically represent. And it's like, it's not laziness, it's not anything, it's like equal, it's like they treat women really well. Like, if you know anybody who is ever featured on the Fong Bros, they always treat them with a lot of respect. They never disrespect them. And then when it comes to Bart and Geo, like, he is like the epitome of, like, you know what I mean? So this is kind of the group of individuals that I like to surround myself with. So if you ever see any part of my content kind of reflecting their imagery or like their vibes or anything related to them, just don't be surprised, because this is kind of where I get either my inspiration from or I get my motivation from. Because I do very much admire. Okay, so here's the thing, thank you. If I don't admire you, I'm not going to follow you. Like, if you have nothing that I can respect you with, I am not going to follow you. Like, if you're doing stuff that make, like, okay, so you know how a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm so jealous of Sierra Furtado, and it's like, you have nothing that I am jealous of. You're literally freeloading off of everybody else, and, you know, I question if, oh wow, she doesn't have that many people, so they're not even, okay. Anyways, I guess it's just a self-inflated ego because their numbers are really not as big as the numbers of people that I have showed you guys just now. Anyways, so I'm not really here to bash other people, but it kind of makes sense why their numbers are just not that high, considering how it's pretty generic if you see some of the people that, you know. And anyways, so oh yeah, I think you guys should not be delusional or whatever, because that's kind of how mainstream media works, you know. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I think Erica Costell signed with IMG or something. Yeah, and IMG Models, I think, is IMG. Who did Bella Hadid model agency? Do you know what's her model agency? Yeah, so most of the time it's a lot mainstream like this, where it depends on who your agency is that will find you the right jobs. Like, if you just sign with Suicide Girls or something, like, you're not going to get the same deals as IMG Models, because these corporations are going to work with these, you know, because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but maybe with the expansion of social media, you can kind of see why, like, certain companies, oh yeah, especially with streaming, thank you, certain companies and certain brands just don't always want to be associated with a certain individual because they don't really represent their company. And, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but a lot of people are like, oh, this NDA contract is so unfair and blah, 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 you know, and then they bash the contract. And it's like, it's usually because of individuals like this that a lot of people just do not want to take a risk on their brand. And that's kind of what I meant by, like, Sierra Furtado or, like, all these people, they could be this successful because of who their agency is and who their management, thank you, is. It probably has nothing to do with the content they're capable of creating. And you have to understand, a lot of these people, like, there's a chance that they do not want to give that percentage to that agency, and that's why they refuse to sign. Because, thank you for reminding me, remember when PewDiePie sold his Disney, sold something? Remember when PewDiePie tried to sell his company or something to Disney, and then Disney tried to control his company or whatever, and then I think it ended really badly between both of them because Disney wanted PewDiePie to do certain things, and PewDiePie was just like, no, this is like a misrepresentation of my brand, and I don't want to do it. So that's kind of what I meant by, like, no, this is completely different, because if you look at PewDiePie's brand versus Disney, like, they're completely polar opposites, thank you. So, like, for PewDiePie to, like, change his rhetoric and his branding, that's kind of him being a sellout to a lot of his fans. So it wasn't really like, oh yeah, Disney is such a bad company. It's more of, if PewDiePie does this, he's technically selling out his own brand, and he's actually going to lose his own fans, which is pretty much the same thing as Disney. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why there's a lot of times people don't, it's, there's so much business stuff. Alright, anyways, so that's just the point that I was trying to make. whether or not people have, it doesn't matter. It's more of, can you represent the brand well? Oh yeah, and the whole Morphe situation. Okay, so remember how there was a lot of like Jaclyn Hill and then Morphe and all this drama because Jaclyn Hill was saying how Morphe did this and then Jeffree Star. And anyways, there's a reason why so many people want to work with Jeffree Star. Thank you. Because Jeffree Star understands how to represent these brands the way that they want them to represent. Wait, the way that he wants the brands, the way. Okay, anyways, you guys know what I'm trying to say. So there's a reason why certain individuals continue to get contracts versus other people, you know? And I mean, if you guys pay attention more to the makeup community, then I guess use Jeffree Star. But if you pay more attention to like the content creator side, I guess pay more attention to PewDiePie. Because Casey Neistat, I feel like he has actually turned down some companies and some brands. He just doesn't make it public. Because if Casey Neistat does make public the brands he does not want to work with, that technically he could get sued for defamation and slander. Because now he's making a false statement about that Alright, anyways. So there's a reason why, like, when Remy is doing all of that and all of that stuff, I'm just like, honestly, I just want her out of my life, considering how much I understand about the media and how much I understand about mainstream celebrities and all that mainstream stuff, that I just really don't feel like dealing with that type of behavior. If you want to play, that's fine, but I personally do not want to be involved with that behavior. And thank you for all the astrologists on my timeline that was all like, hey, you know, she gonna stop your bags, so you need to distance yourself. And I was just like, ugh. I had a feeling, but it's just nice to have another person say the same thing, you know? It's just nice to have reaffirmation or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, so that's kind of my video. I wanted this to be a very educational thing because I wanted to show you guys that, remember how I was trying to say, like, I was trying to take away YouTube's incentive to copyright strike people and try to remove their content by encouraging more freedom of speech, and then having actually people at YouTube do their job instead of just sit around and pretend like they work, but they're not. So that's kind of why I was like, you know, anyways. So I hope this is educational. I hope you guys explore more on YouTube instead of, you know, and don't worry. I think a lot of people were, I think this is, I mean, I personally would prefer a shadow ban because there's certain people's content that I don't want to see. Like say if I have a certain type of content that I continuously like, I would very much prefer to see that type of content versus like other stuff, you know? I have yet to watch all her videos and get her vibe and see if I even like her vibe before I even follow her. Because usually YouTube, because of who you watch and because of who you like and all the videos and stuff, they will show you more stuff that is related to that. So a lot of times I'm very, very careful on what I click and what I like to watch and all that stuff, because I don't want like a certain... Well, I think YouTube was debating the whole not interested for a while, and PewDiePie was just like, why would that even matter? Like, if people don't want to see it, they don't want to see it. Like, why are you trying to force it down somebody's throat? So I kind of side with PewDiePie on that, to be honest, because there's a lot of people's content that I don't want to see that is constantly in trending, and I'm just like, I can't even click that I don't want this because it's already in trending. So, I mean, there's a lot of refinement, okay? That's outside of the video, outside of the context of this video that I was trying to make. So, my whole thing is there's plenty of content creators who try to use the copyright strike to try and shut down another channel for having a better idea than them is kind of the idea that I want to get rid of, because it seems like there's a lot of content creators who try to copyright strike other people just because they have a better management, because they want to steal that person's idea. And I personally just think that is very wrong on many levels, because I feel like, I mean, I was not aware of this, but apparently a lot of people that I added on my list of stuff that I want to watch, apparently they have more subscribers, which means the YouTube algorithm really does work. And it seems like these people are just salty because they have to pay management so much money. And then all these agencies are also salty because they're refusing to accept the fact that their content creator just doesn't have content. So there's also that. But that's going to be a whole entire different video, because this type of situation is already happening on Twitch a lot, to the point where a lot of people are just kind of getting really annoyed. And I know that So this is gonna have to be like a whole entire different thing and a lot more in depth. But so far, I'm just gonna make that list, and you guys can view it. You guys can see it however you want, and you can tell me why, you know, I would not be jealous considering how many other choices I have. And well, you know, when it comes to having a big house, I have never harassed. What is it? Wife life? Oh, she actually, her name is Christine? No, that's not her name. Her name is Rhian HY. So, if you guys ever see, yeah, and that's kind of what I was trying to tell you, because if you know anything about okay, so Dorothy Wang, her dad is a billionaire. If you guys didn't know that, her father net worth. So his dad is worth $4 billion. Her dad is worth $4 billion. And just so you guys know, like, if you follow her on YouTube, there's a lot of people on YouTube that are rich. Bill Gates is not, you know what I mean? Like, I bet you didn't even know she had a I bet you didn't even know she had a YouTube video or YouTube channel. And honestly, like, so yeah, there's a lot of people who have money that do not flaunt their wealth. But if you where's her Instagram? Oh my gosh, what is her Instagram? Okay. So, her house is huge. Like, look at that bat. Look at that. That's just her. Alright, anyways. So I love her videos. I mean, I love her Instagram because her Instagram is full of her house videos, like I'm folding my clothes, or here, I'll show you her shower is crazy. Yeah, I feel like on her YouTube there isn't as much about her house as there is on her Instagram. Her Instagram is full of like her house photos. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she's super rich. She never leaves the house. Hope Scope is another one that's pretty wealthy in my opinion. No, this is what I mean by like real rich people just are not, they're not gonna start drama for no reason, you know? And like if you follow a lot of the more wealthy people on YouTube and on Instagram, you will realize that like depending on how much drama a person likes to start, it usually like is equivalent to how much money they have, you know? Anyways, so yeah, I follow quite a few like rich girls if you really consider it. Like if you ever look at Lauren Curtis's home, oh my gosh, she has such a nice house too. It's super big. She even has her own garden now, I think. My plant tour. She has her own garden or whatever in her backyard now that she's growing her own. Like she has, oh, that's another one. Okay, Desi Perkins. So Desi Perkins has like this whole entire garden in her backyard where she just pretty much gets like fresh fruits every single day because she's grown it with her mom or something. And her house is huge too. Like I would have to say between Desi and Katy, I think Desi's house is more of, wait, hold on. It's not, they're not dating. But so I think Katy's house is a lot less. It's just like Katy has like a really big backyard, which I love. Oh my gosh. And then man, I feel like I only follow rich girls. And anyone who starts drama with me, I just feel like they're really poor. Either that or they're just using drugs. Why? I mean, do you see how many rich girls I follow? And like not one can I have anything negative to say. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, thank you for coming to my stream. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you ever think I'm jealous, I will make sure to have enough physical evidence and enough people to say, I mean not enough people to say, but I'll find enough examples of why I'm not jealous, because clearly you're not as wealthy as you make it seem like you are, because there are wealthy women on here that clearly have a lot of money, but they don't really say or do things like that or give people the opportunity to say or do anything to them, which is kind of the main reason why I choose to follow a lot of wealthy, educated women, especially when it's kind of like, it's just kind of nice, you know, like if you want to be wealthy, successful, and you know, respected, you kind of have to see what other women have done to reach that. Does that kind of make sense? Like most of the women that I just showed you guys, nobody has anything negative to say about them. Why? Because they don't represent themselves in that way. Right? And you have to also kind of understand the reason why they are in very successful relationships and the reason why the men in their life want to stay with them is probably also because of the type of person they are. Does that kind of make sense? Like, I know at least for May, thank you, she didn't really have anyone that wanted to date her until she stopped being a certain way. And then it was like the men were like flocking to her, you know, kind of thing. So it's just really nice to have a woman to look up to, where it's kind of like, okay, maybe what I am doing is right, or maybe I need to kind of change the type of person that I am. Oh, and Taylor R, thank you for reminding me. Taylor R, so I don't know how long you guys have been following her, but remember how, like, thank you so much for reminding me. Remember how, like, years ago when she was, like, she went to, like, a hot sauna or something when she was still living in Japan? Oh my gosh. So Taylor R's, YouTube channel is, like, the epitome of everything I love. You know? I'm not even gonna give her the exposure she wants. Mentioning her is just bringing attention. Anyways, so, if you watched hold on. Remember she was all like, I have a boyfriend, and this was like such a drawn out thing. Like, it took months and months and months and months and months and months and months, you know? Whereas, well, Kimdao, I think she and her boyfriend have been together since like high school or something. And it was really funny because, like, I think Kimdao was doing her makeup in her husband's room. Oh, no, fiance's room at that point. And it was so funny. She's all, like, sitting on her fiance's chair, like, gaming chair. And she was like, yeah, I have my makeup on this side and he has his computer on that side. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, like, the dream. The dream, you know? Because it was kind of like, she gets her makeup because she's very girly. If you guys know anything about her, hey, this time I only got an F out. I didn't have a U or a C, just an F. But so yeah, I really like the kimdao thing. I mean, I can keep doing it over and over again. It's just gonna get shorter and shorter. It went from 2 hours to 30 minutes. So I mean, it isn't really that bad. I was gonna do it for like 10. But if it does get flagged, it gets flagged. But now you guys know I'm such a perfectionist. Exactly. Anyways, so my point was, if you guys watched, man, she has a lot. Okay, so she works for a what is it called? She works for a tourist company? No, she works for a travel agency, thank you. So she's always flying between like 2 different places. And I personally, I can't stand the like constant back and forth, because a lot of the places she goes to is the same, and I'm just like, I already seen it before. I don't want to watch it anymore. So that so then I stopped watching her vlog, but that doesn't mean I don't know anything about her life. There's a reason why I stopped following her, because I was just like, this is getting really, really repetitive and it's kind of getting boring. And that's also why I stopped following Taylor R until she decided to have an IVF, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally something I would need in my future. And then so I come on and off because sometimes it's really boring, sometimes it's really interesting, but I don't know. I think she was doing like a Japanese vlog every other day because she kept having to go back for work or something. So like it would be interesting one day and then it would be boring, and then it'd be interesting and it'd be boring. Like her apartment tour was a lot of fun. And then I think she was doing her makeup somewhere here, and then it was really fun, and then it got boring again. But I will always follow her because I will always love her original Japan vlogs. It was her and Taylor R where they would always... I don't really like anybody else in their friend group because I thought they were either super fake or super like superficial or whatever, and they were just not fun to watch. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's older ones than this, though. Did you remove some videos? I feel like she removed some videos because there's like a gap. Gap in this. Alright, anyways. So this is how long I've been following a lot of these, vloggers and stuff. So that's why I'm kind of like, I kind of seen them evolve, I guess. And I know a lot of their, like... Whoa, she removed a ton of videos. So I know I've been following these girls for a really long time, and I think it's because of how they handled their their relationship in the beginning, that I know what I know, you know, because I think she was single for a while, and I think she was kind of struggling, and I think her boyfriend was also kind of struggling with the idea of coming on camera. So yeah, and I usually see how they turn out like after a while and seeing if they're still good or whatever, you know. Well, I'm in esports, which means I am a gamer and my content is not based on face value. I don't think she watched that Draw My Story and My Whole Life is I had acne a lot as a kid. I think she removed it too, cause oh wait, no, it's right here. If you watch this, you will know like the actual type of person she really is, but I feel like not a lot of people will watch it, so they probably don't understand why I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her like another opportunity, because she actually is not that type of person. She might just be misled by false information right now. And for kimdao, I feel like she's a lot like my private school friends, where they're just kind of like, okay, you know what, I'll give you this opportunity to like whatever, and then it's just whatever, you know, because there's some questionable people who she has been in a vlog with. I think there's that one Twitch guy that she was drinking soju with that I was just like, I think he's a mess of a dude. But she gives everybody an opportunity. So, oh yeah, what's her name? Sunny Day and Edward Avila and all these, and Joan Keem. Like, I feel like they're just like really freeloading people, because kimdao's actually pretty rich, if you don't know that. But you know how like Kimdao usually doesn't let like drama get in the way of her business, you know? Like, even if people are really, really messed up, or like really weird people and have a lot of drama, or like the type of person they are, she always still gives them a chance. And like, I don't know, I just like following her because she always gives people a chance and like an opportunity and all that. But I don't know, I feel like her content got really repetitive and boring after she left Japan. And I think she kind of feels that way as well, because you can kind of tell by the vibe of her like stuff. Her wedding and stuff, clearly, I think in Chinese culture, it's supposed to be nansen fu or something, right? The man is supposed to pay. So I think it's because of her husband. Her husband, yeah, isn't that what you said? Her husband, that it was so like fancy and stuff. But at the same time, if you think about it, Kim Dao is really not the type of person to cheat, and neither is her boyfriend. So in that sense, I really like following them. Bart and Geo, I relate to Geo a lot, because sometimes I don't know, I can kind of feel like she gets exhausted or tired, or like needs to find a reason to do stuff, and like that's kind of the same for me. So like sometimes it's hard to watch her because I'm just like, there's too much negativity. We don't have enough inspiration. We're all going into the deep end. And I'm just like, can't watch this, can't watch this. But no, Taylor R, she's actually a homebody. So I feel like, if you guys ever have watched her vlogs, her dad owns a, what is it called? A car dealership. So she's actually pretty used to just staying at home. So that I don't think that's what's going on. I think it's something else that I don't know how to help. And you can kind of tell in her vlogs sometimes when she's having a hard time. But yeah, I can definitely tell sometimes just by how people are making their vlogs and videos that they may or may not be having a hard time. This is just her being really bored, which is terrifying. That is like probably it scarred me. All right, anyways. So, who else? I think that's about it. There's not a lot of vlog channels. I mean, I feel like she's like a kid who wants to do a lot, but her parents are just like, I think you're asking for too much right now, and you're not bringing in enough. And I like how she doesn't really, it doesn't seem like she's really that spoiled. I think she's not happy about the results, but at the same time, she's still doing everything to make it possible, you know? Because I don't know if you guys followed her on Instagram, but it was like, okay, at first she's moving into a whole entire house by herself, and then it was like, okay, I got a roommate, and then after that, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can't, you know. So it's kind of like she follows and listens to what her parents want to do, and she doesn't really get pissed off, or like she doesn't use her. Yeah, that was a mess. But I actually really like her because she does set a pretty good example to people, for people. But I feel like in comparison to her friends, she still has a lot more money than they do. Just by the way. So how can I tell? Whenever you're the only person in the car. Okay, so I know this because I'm usually the rich person. So usually if you're the rich friend, then you're always driving, you're always paying, and you're always the person who's like in the driver's seat because none of your friends can afford or want to do anything. And that's kind of why I was like, Adeline is probably getting used by her friend, because I've had this where it's kind of like you buy everything your friends sell, but then it's like your friends would never buy anything that you sell because they are always short on cash or something, and because they don't want to drive their car because their car is something. It's like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll get the small room and I'll pay more of the rent because I know you need it. And it's just like, dude, honestly, I'm so sick and tired of people like this, you know? And it's fine if you want your life like that, but I don't really want to be there to see it, kind of thing, you know? I'm not gonna try and change your mind. I'm not gonna try and whatever, but if, does that gonna make sense? Like, if you want to have a pet, in my opinion, I'd rather just have a real animal pet, you know? Not just like a human pet. Because I feel like a human pet is just like a waste of my time. But that's just my opinion, and that's kind of why I follow her, because it seems like, you know, her parents don't really let her friends use her, which is amazing, and she actually listens. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this whole entire thing with my family. But on Instagram, she was like, I'm gonna move in by myself. And then she changed it, right? And then she changed it again. She never used her platform to publicly shame her parents, first of all. And after that, she didn't really say anything about anything. She just kind of got it done. You know what I mean? Like, if her parents was like, okay, we cannot afford this, she found another person. And then she was like, and then her parents, you know, she didn't do anything. She just found another roommate. So, like, that right there is something that I can respect and I want to watch her. Does that kind of make sense? Because I feel like sometimes, you know, a lot of times in this type of community, a lot of times people like glamorize shaming their parents or like guilt tripping people into doing something, which is a lot what like Sierra and like all those girls like to do. And like, I don't know, it's a really toxic circle. I mean, it's great for all the tea channels because it's just great for publicity, you know. So like, I have no problem with it. I just try to distance myself from it because it's like they're the type of person who wants to create drama all around them. So it's kind of like if you're even remotely close to it, they're gonna try and start drama with you. Does that kind of make sense? Because that's just what they want, you know. And like, if you know anything about mainstream, thank you, you know it's not gonna last very long. Like the whole Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, you know, that thing lasted about like 4 months and it was over. And then the whole Angelina Jolie thing, that lasted about a few years and then it's over. So yeah, good luck on that. But yeah, oh, that's what I was gonna do. Oh no, I was gonna. It's too late now. Okay. So there is. I actually wanted to watch this. What am I doing? It's taking a minute. Let it marinate. Okay, so yeah. So so she's actually pretty rich and she's like such a relaxing person. She's like she's so peaceful, she's so positive. But like honestly, sometimes it's just way too much for me. So, but besides that, like she's actually really nice to watch. If you ever want to know what normal is, this is normal. I watch a lot of. She only has 1.24, but I feel like. What's her name? What is her name? Song Dani. Song Dani, I think her family is rich. These two, if you want to talk about lifestyle and blogging, I would definitely say that Instagram is definitely way more whatever than, you know, what is it? Way more lifestyle vlogging than YouTube. Because I think Son Dani and them have been. I think they're. Yeah, I don't even know. What is this even? Yeah, see, she is a fashion ambassador for Chloe, Giorgio Armani, Dior, and Revolve. She worked with Laura Mercier, True Religion, Levi's, the business of fashion as one of the 500 people. She was Forbes. So, I mean, I'm just kind of saying, like, she is Song of Style. How come I've never seen this before? See, this is what I mean by, like, some people just have really good agencies and it's not actually based on the algorithm. Because I didn't even know she has. See, look, it's only 346. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of times when people have a lot of real life connections, they may or may not have any YouTube connections at all. Like, who is one channel that doesn't ever buy any views? ABC. ABC really does not care. ABC News, there's a lot of news outlets that just don't care. There's like local news like Cron 4, they do not care. Do people watch them? Yeah, we kind of have to, because guess what? There are local cable like news channel. But do they care about how many subscribers they have? No, but I'm pretty sure their net worth is probably more than all your 2 million YouTubers. So, I'm just letting you know, like, just because you have YouTube followers or whatever doesn't really, no, like, doesn't mean you have any type of connections. And I can see why a lot of people mainstream are just kind of like, honestly, I don't really want to deal with this. Alright, anyways, I'm done. I'm not here to bash. I'm just saying, if you're gonna try and self-inflate your ego, at least, you know, try to look at people who are actually way wealthier than you, who actually have had way more contracts with other businesses and other brands before you try and attack me and think like, oh yeah, I'm so jealous. Like, I feel like I know way too much to think that to even be jealous of you, because I know so many people that are better than you that I am not even jealous of, but I actually rather admire them, and I don't strive to be them. I strive to learn their business aspects and what type of branding and how they represent themselves. Because if you really pay attention to the really, really wealthy and high followers and all of that stuff that have a lot of, yeah, like Casey Neistat, thank you. Most of that is just how he represents himself. And it's not even like he is asking brands to work with him. The brands are asking to work with him. Does that kind of make sense? Like, so many people on YouTube these days think like, oh yeah, I just have to get a good agency and they will get me the job. And it's kind of like, you do realize that Casey Neistat and PewDiePie were approached by these companies. It wasn't like Casey Neistat and PewDiePie begged them for a contract. It was like they were begging them for the contract. So like, I don't know, but you guys clearly have your priorities confused. Or you know that you technically have no content, so you're just gonna hope to God that they make you that, you know. So we already all know this, and honestly, I'm not jealous of you. You have no content, you have no idea what you're doing, and if it wasn't for your management, nobody would ever watch your content. So stop trying to tell me I'm jealous when you clearly have no idea how to draw inspiration from successful people. You only know how to copy them. So in terms of that, I am not jealous of you by any means of the imagination. But thanks for your consideration.